All students looking for opportunities need help from an early age. 20 years ago, in some communities where that help's less available, some college students tried to help fill the gap with a mentoring program for girls in grades 3 through 5. The program's called Strong Women, Strong Girls, and has even been expanded to Pittsburgh. To tell us about the program and some recent funding support is its CEO, Natalie Martinez. Thank you very much for being with us, Natalie.
Hi, Chris. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
And good to see you, Natalie. I know that, before we get into the details of your program, even people who have not grown up in a program or volunteered as a mentor, they've been exposed to mentoring in some way. But what was your experience?
My experience is the absolute reason why I'm with Strong Women, Strong Girls today. I'm born and raised in Boston, specifically in Mattapan. And around high school, the end of my high school education, I really didn't have focus for after high school. And it was one of my teachers that came up to me and asked me what my plans was. And she said to me, you really need to think about going to college. So I went off to college and then ended my career a little bit sooner than I had expected and had to come home for different reasons, mostly financial, and then entered into the workforce. And it was then that I met my current mentor, who's been in my life for the past 20 years. And she just began to mold me and shape me, help me to see the power that I had within myself and the fact that I could strive for more than what was currently, my outlook in life. And so as a result, I went on, I finished my degree and began to raise my family and always wanted to be an executive director of a nonprofit, but never really felt like I could actually do it. And I have to tell you, every single time I doubted myself, she has been there to breathe life into me, to help me to strive to be better and to see the strength that is within myself. And so when I was approached with the opportunity to lead Strong Women, Strong Girls, I jumped at the chance because I literally see myself in the girls that we serve each and every day around the city of Boston and in Pittsburgh as well. These girls are tremendous and they just need to be exposed to thinking a broader in terms of what they can do with their lives. So mentorship is what has made me who I am today.
Your program is talking about girls in grades 3 through 5, young girls. And I looked at some of their testimonials about the program. I imagine some of these girls did have classroom teachers who were caring and sympathetic, but they got something from your program that they couldn't get in the classroom. How would you describe that?
Sure. So, one of the things that's really special about our program is that we focus on female role models. And what we're able to do is not only bring public figures who the girls might see on TV and bring it into the classroom in terms of their mentoring relationship and help them to realize the characteristics that are in these public figures that they can see in themselves. But then we often create our curriculum to focus on local community activists and local people who girls might be familiar with, even in their own home. We have a series in our curriculum where we highlight, a hero within the girls' families. So apart from having a relationship with a teacher or a relative, the relationships that the girls build with our college mentors helps them to take any role model that we're featuring in terms of reading their bio and looking at the strengths that they bring and relate it back to themselves. So it's an opportunity to really explore amazing people that our girls might be familiar with, but again, just relating those characteristics back to themselves, seeing themselves through the lens of other people who have made it.
One of the other things that struck me in the testimonials was when a girl said that before her exposure to this program, she was sort of holding things back. And it's almost like she was the typical student, looking at education as an exercise in risk aversion. Don't make waves, don't think too much aloud, at least. Why do people need to change that?
That's a great question. So one of our mottos is strong, loud, and proud. And so what we're teaching our girls is that, to see a future for themselves. And that might mean that they have to advocate for themselves, or they might have to bring up issues that other people are not willing to talk about. And that is so important and critical absolutely, especially in today's times, because there's so many issues that are being brought to the forefront in media, in our daily lives. And a lot of times, what the research shows us is that girls between the ages of 9 and 11, their confidence peaks at that moment, and then they experience a 30% drop. And the drop in the confidence, it leads to some self-harm type behaviors later in life. So what we're teaching our girls is to own that confidence that they have, to reinforce it and empower themselves to speak out and to advocate for themselves. And so even a little girl sitting in a classroom that's scared to even raise her hand to go to the bathroom, or she might see someone being bullied on the playground, we're just teaching them that you don't have to be afraid to speak up for yourself. You don't have to be afraid to stand up for one of your friends if you see something that's not happening, that's not going well. It's so important and it's critical to the voices of these young girls in this day and time, because sometimes there's just no one else to speak out for them.
Well, I grew up in one of Boston's neighborhoods, maybe two of the neighborhoods, and I know what it's like to be in an environment where you're getting these messages either from close by or in popular culture about what is valued, what's respected. And when these girls were in your program, I guess they're getting messages that maybe other things are valuable and worthy of respect.
Sure. So we have a 3-year curriculum that focuses on self-identity in the first year. The second year explores various career paths and where they want to go in their life. And then the third year focuses on community activism and looking at their community in general. And when I say activism, it could just mean in terms of focusing on just, their home environment and speaking up about like what types of vegetables they might want to eat and that sort of thing. So we just try to give girls an opportunity to really dream big and explore whatever is important to them. So not only confidence, but other issues that come to the forefront of their mind.
What about the mentors who work in your program, whether these are college students or professionals? I imagine mainly professional women. What does it do for them?
Yeah. So we spend a lot of time focusing on training and preparation for our college mentors. So our model is such that, the elementary school girls are mentored by the college women. So we have partnerships with 7 colleges and universities around the city of Boston, and we draw close to 300 college mentors each year. And so we take each semester, the college mentors go through a full day long training. Currently, it's done over Zoom, but there are times where it's 2 days and it's broken up when we're in person. But we focus on leadership skills, conflict resolution, learning how to be an effective mentor, and also how to embody the things that we're teaching the girls themselves. So they're not only learning how to go out and develop these wonderful relationships, but they're also learning how to build confidence in themselves and become leaders themselves. And one of the things that we really hear as a testimonial from our college mentors is that they view this experience as their opportunity to be exposed to communities that they might not have been exposed to otherwise. And then those college mentors are mentored by professional women. So we also offer programming for professional women who come from a lot of our corporate relationships within the community. And we typically work with ERGs or employee resource groups, and they have groups of women that want to volunteer. So they sign up with us, and then they are matched with our college women one-on-one, and then they are able to mentor these college women, but also, find some benefit in the relationship back to them as well. So our program is multi-generational in that way, in that the girls are receiving the mentor relationship to dream bigger, and then the college women are developing themselves as leaders and working with that group, and then they're also within a mentoring relationship, which is I think is just an amazing model to work within.
Well, during the pandemic, it seems all mentoring programs have to struggle with in-person opportunities as well as the pipeline that brings new people in. So how about managing that, and how much help you're getting from some of your new grants?
Yeah. It has been really challenging, or at least it was just under a year ago once we got the news that we had to go virtual. And I have to commend my team, because within 2 weeks they were able to transition the platform to a virtual platform. And we were able to provide almost uninterrupted service to our mentors and mentees. And so that was a wonderful thing that we have done. And because we've been able to adapt so quickly, we continue to go out and seek funding. And we're so thankful for some renewed partnerships in terms of our corporate relationships and also our funders from our grantees. Our individual donors have always stayed with us and they have helped as well. But we're really proud that we were able to bring on some pretty significant new funders. Wellington Financial Foundation is one of our new funders. And that has allowed us to maintain ourselves and be stable and viable within the pandemic. But it also has given us a baseline for how we can grow into the future. And so during the pandemic, we were ambitious in that we have undergone a strategic planning process, which will be complete in April of this year. And from there, we'll have a 1 to 3 year growth plan once we come out of, this virtual setting that we're in. We'll very likely move to a hybrid model, but our funders have made it possible for us to continue as an organization and to even think about growth within this really, really challenging time.
Finally, Natalie, for people who are interested in volunteering or maybe getting a daughter enrolled as a mentee, what's the best way for them to follow up on that?
Absolutely. So our website is www.swsg.org. And on our website, you can see a list of our sites where we are currently partnering with Boston Public Schools and community centers. If it's within your area or if your daughter is a part of one of those locations, then you can certainly sign her up. If if you're in a location that we don't currently have a relationship with, we do have a waiting list of sites that we want to open into the future, which will be coming online. So please still reach out as well. You can send in a submission form through our website. Additionally, if someone wants to volunteer, same thing through our website, there's an opportunity to volunteer that way. And then, of course, you can always call our office. We use cell phones, so our phone lines are still working, and that's 617-459-1500. And someone will respond to your inquiry and set you up with the program.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to be with us and to share the strong narrative.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
It was Natalie Martinez from Strong Women, Strong Girls. We'll have more news in just a moment.